Welcome to this Global Network Hub Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a technology that is literally reshaping how we work, how we create, and how we solve problems. We're talking about generative AI. Now, I know we hear the buzzwords absolutely everywhere these days, but today we're going to cut through the noise. We're going to break down exactly how it works, and more importantly, how you can actually use it. So, let's dive right in.
Okay, imagine a little thought experiment for a second. Let's say you've got an empty room, and you tell a computer, hey, my room is pretty small, I need a bed, a study desk, some storage, and a bit of open space. Give me 3 different layouts. And almost instantly, boom, you get 3 completely unique blueprints. Then you decide to change just one requirement. You say, actually, make it suitable for 2 people working from home. Just like that, you get brand new layouts. You didn't give it a finished blueprint, right? You just gave it instructions. And this brings us to our core mystery. How exactly can a machine take what you ask for and create something entirely new?
You know, that room analogy brilliantly hits the nail on the head for understanding the basic mental model of this tech. In step 1, you provide your requirements, like the room size or the furniture you need. Then, in step 2, the AI model processes those specific constraints. And finally, in step 3, it hands you a generated output. It's essentially a direct pipeline right from your specific needs straight to a brand new creation.
So let's formalize this a bit in section 1. What is generative AI? Going from patterns to new content.
By definition, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that creates new content based on patterns it learned during its training, combined with the input it receives from you. Now, I really want to emphasize that middle part, creating new content. That is the magic word here, generate. It's not just going into some massive database and pulling out a pre-existing file. No, it is actively producing a brand new output that literally did not exist a single moment before you asked for it.
And the crazy thing is, this core process, input, processing, output, it applies to almost anything. A writing request in step 1 can produce a totally original essay in step 3. A visual request can produce a stunning new image. A programming request can output fully functional code. The type of media changes, sure, but this fundamental engine, it remains exactly the same.
But if we go one level deeper, you're probably wondering, well, how does the AI actually know what to generate? It knows because long before you ever gave it an instruction, it went through a massive training phase. In step 1, it processes incredible amounts of data. And from all that data, in step 2, it learns relationships. If it's a language model, it learns how words relate to each other. If it's an image model, it learns visual patterns. It's only after that immense training period that it can accept your user input in step 3, which then allows it to generate that final output in step 4.
Which brings us to a term you have definitely heard by now, the prompt. A prompt is quite simply the instruction and the requirements you give to the AI. Let's go back to our room analogy. If your prompt is design a small room with 2 desks, you're going to get one specific result. But if your prompt changes to give priority to storage space, your result completely changes. The quality of the output isn't just up to the AI, it depends heavily on the clarity of your instructions.
Let's shift gears a bit. Section 2, generating versus analyzing and why understanding the difference really matters.
See, traditional AI has been analyzing existing information for years now. If you showed a picture of a room and ask what objects are in this room, it'll understand and classify what's already there. Generative AI, however, is all about producing a new output. You aren't asking what's already there, you're asking the system to create a new layout that doesn't even exist yet. Analyzing looks at what is, while generating creates what could be.
Moving on to section 3, generative AI in the real world. And spoiler alert, it is way more than just chatbots.
Generative AI is a remarkably broad technology category. It handles text, creating summaries and drafts. It handles images, producing design concepts and illustrations. It can even write computer code, synthesize music, and modify video. This isn't just some single parlor trick. It's a comprehensive shift that's impacting virtually every single type of digital media out there.
In practice, it's all about combining your professional knowledge with AI's generating power. A student might use it to get simpler explanations of complex physics. A designer might iterate through a bunch of visual concepts before actually building the final product. A programmer can generate boilerplate code drafts just to save hours of typing. And business professionals, they use it to finally conquer that notoriously difficult first draft of a big report.
Which brings us to a really crucial point, Section 4. Verification and professional judgment. Basically, using AI responsibly.
Here is a golden rule for you. Generated does not automatically mean verified. Remember our room design?
The AI might create a stunning layout, right? But if you actually try to build it in the real world, you might find the AI put a giant king-size bed right in front of the only door. The exact same concept applies to information. An AI can generate a highly confident, beautifully written answer that contains absolute nonsense. Human verification is, for sure, non-negotiable.
So the weak approach is just asking an AI a question and blindly running with whatever it spits out. A much better approach requires structure. First, you define the actual problem, then you provide the relevant context, and let the AI generate the output. But crucially, before you ever use the result, you absolutely must review and verify it. If you're doing something creative, a quick review might be totally fine. But for medical, legal, financial, or engineering decisions, rigorous verification is mandatory. AI makes us faster, for sure, but it does not replace our responsibility.
And this requires what we call technology judgment. When people see a shiny new tool, they usually ask, hey, what can we use this for? But a true professional starts by asking, what problem are we actually trying to solve? Then they ask if generative AI is even the appropriate tool for the job. They consider the constraints, they plan exactly how to verify the output, and finally they ask, did it actually solve the problem? We use technology because it solves a problem effectively, not just because it's the cool new thing.
So ultimately, the quality of your result comes down to a really simple equation. It's clear instructions, plus context, plus using the right model, plus verification. If your requirements are completely unclear, your result is going to be useless. If you skip verification, your result could actually be dangerous. You have to balance all parts of this equation if you want to get something truly reliable.
Let's wrap up with Section 5, our AI learning journey and what comes next.
If you've been following along on this learning journey, we started in week 1 by laying the foundation of what artificial intelligence even is. Then we explored how systems actually learn in machine learning. Today, we stepped into generative AI to see how it uses those learned patterns to create totally new content. But within this massive field, there's one highly specific area that has completely taken the world by storm.
Think about it. How exactly can a machine process and generate human language so naturally? How does it hold a conversation, write essays, and summarize massive documents without breaking a sweat? Well, that is the domain of large language models, or LLMs, and that is exactly what we are going to be decoding in our next explainer. Thank you so much for joining me today.